Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cracking the Code. This is a masterclass all about the deck of cards, and I am here to teach you a little bit about the system and to kind of cover some of the synchronicities between the deck of cards and who we are as human beings. So I wanted to welcome you and thank you so much for joining. It's a very unique system, and a lot of people haven't heard of it. So I'm here to educate you a little bit about it. And if you have any questions, I want you feel free to go ahead and ask those questions. I think it's very important because we are human beings and we're very curious. And so I'm excited to go ahead and teach you tonight. So I am just going to go ahead and share my screen. I hope everyone is doing well. And let's get this started. All right. Okay, so welcome to Cracking the Code from the Ancient Book of Life. So we call this system the Ancient Book of Life Numerology System, and I'm here to walk you through this whole process. But I want to tell you a little bit about who I am. So my name is Adrienne Harris, and I am a relationship coach and professional numerologist. I am 50 years old, almost 51, and I am a mom of an almost 21-year-old. My son turns 21 in a couple of days. I've been an entrepreneur for 16 years, and I actually need to adjust that because it's actually been 18 years. And I was married for 26 years, now recently divorced. So people say, oh, so you're a relationship coach. I'll explain why. In my previous life, I used to babysit rich people's homes for 10 years. I'm also a certified yoga instructor. I am a cognitive behavioral therapist practitioner, an NLP practitioner, which is neuro-linguistic programming, and a strengths coach. My interest is in numerology now, although I utilize all of the tools in my toolbox, and which has led me to relationship coaching because of the years that I have been an entrepreneur. I have also built my businesses based upon relationships. And that's extremely important for you to understand because we live this world based on relationships, not only the relationships that we have with people in our life, but also the relationship that we have with ourselves. Okay. So wait, what? There's a system built on the deck of cards? There is. So we have this beautiful deck of cards, and I'm going to go through this teaching with you, and we're going to cover all of just the basic information on the deck of cards and how we can associate them with your life. Okay, so I want to go through the history on this system because it's very important to understand. This system originated in Atlantis, and its accuracy literally speaks for itself. It's fractal based on the ancient calendar for the earth, and it's written in the colors, numbers, and symbols of the deck of cards. It's an alchemical blending of basic astrological and numerological concepts. And it kind of has a little bit of mystical structure to it because it actually explains our personalities and characteristics of every person in the world. Because if you were born into this world, you were assigned a card on your birthday. Okay, so it helps us sort of understand the events that we experience in our life, and it's also a very accurate and advanced system. And it is not meant to be for fortune telling. It's more so for forecasting our lives. Okay, so for generations, people have thought that there are sacred texts that hold the record of everyone from death from life until death. And this is what this system is. It is called the Book of Life, and it's been preserved and by the order of the Magi. And the Magi is the people who actually govern this system. And so we have been waiting. I'm not part of the occult, or I'm not part of the Magi of the group, but what they have been waiting for is when mankind is of a higher consciousness. So in 1893, there was this book that was written by a gentleman by Olney H. Richmond. And he is the father of the Book of Life and the Wisdom. And so anyone who is searching for that, you can Google Olney H. Richmond and find out lots of information about this man. So in this system, the position of the cards are not random. They are not thrown in like psychic readings, although you can certainly do your own intuitive pulls, which I do on a regular basis. Because each card has its own energy, okay? And so when we're actually looking at someone's birthday, we're actually looking at we're looking at the day you were born, and there are certain cards that were in play, I guess you could say, about the placement. And it's also kind of like a finely tuned clock with a very precise calendar and its meanings. And so this is where we can actually take a look at information about everyone's life and also use this for forecasting, like I shared. Okay. So you have a birth card, and so every day of the year is assigned a specific playing card. Some cards govern only one day, like the King of Spades or the Queen of Spades, while others are associated with as many as 12. Okay, each card has its own specific meaning determined by its numeric value, which is numerology, and it is associated with planetary influences called astrology. So this is why quite often we talk about it as like an astronumerological system. So along with our birth card, we also, which we call our sun card in the system, there's also a spread of cards called your life spread, and you also have something called your planetary ruler card. So both cards and your spread speak to who you are as a person. Okay, so those spreads change every year on your birthday. And so the interpretation of this spread is your life card spread, and it reveals your personality traits, innate gifts and talents, challenges meant to help you grow, and then opportunities for an enhanced relationship, creativity, and or your business. So interpretation of your birth card spread along with your astrology and numerology stats. And the card positions move every year, like I said, which gives you a different spread for each life of your year, which allows for a yearly forecast in much the same way as an astrologer can see your whole year, like they would do like a natal chart, or they would do like a forecast reading. Okay. So here is the birthday calendar. So each one of us was assigned a card on our birthday. So it's not, our birth cards are not about predicting the future. They offer a pathway to help us with our self-expression, showing us both our current state of evolution and our potential destiny. So this system encourages us to strive for a state of illumination, understanding both where we are now and where we have the potential to go, because this is all about seeing ourselves in a different way. Okay. So what do the cards represent? So each card in the hand is in a different planetary position. So Jupiter and Mars, etc., so on and so forth. And I'll show you that as we get further along. The numbers run ace to 10. They relate to original numerology. So in traditional numerology, we work with the numbers 1 through 9. We also have master numbers 11 and 22. Okay, so and 33. The Jack, Queen, King are related to the archetypal energies of a prince, a queen, and a king. And so if you take a look, We have 52 cards, which equal 52 weeks in a year. We have 12 court cards, which also equal 12 months of the year. We have 4 suits, which equal 4 elements or 4 seasons. We have 13 cards in a suit, which also equal our 13 lunar cycles that we have throughout our year. So the suits, the cards are associated with the seasons and the tarot, but they're not the same. Okay, just so you're clear, tarot is different than the deck of cards, but they can be associated. So we have hearts represent our childhood, spring, water, and cups. The clubs represent school age years, summer, air, and swords. Diamonds represent early earning years, fall, earth, and pentacles. And spades represent the wisdom years, winter, fire, and wands. So if you're into tarot, this would be a great way for you to learn about that as well. Oops. Hold on a second here. Sorry about that. The black, which is the clubs and the spades. Those colors represent more of the masculine yang energy. And then we have the red cards, which is the hearts and the diamonds, and they are feminine yin energies. Okay. And they represent night. All right. So let's get into this. So like we said, there are 4 basic fields of life. So, and the whole idea is that these symbols are various aspects of society and human life. So this heart symbol signifies the quest for this inner peace. The club signifies for strength and accomplishment, right? Through thinking. The diamond symbolizes significant in business and prosperity. And then the spade symbolizes the warrior class and life itself. So the meaning of the suits categorize 4 key areas of life. So we have emotional, which is the hearts, mental, which is the clubs, material, which is the diamonds, and then the physical, which is the spades. So then they're further divided into subcategories to include every aspect of life. So each suit symbolizes the terrain of your soul is traveling in its karmic vehicle. So, and it's the area of your life that requires your attention, most vulnerable to the law of cause and effect. So let's break this down because we're going to go into each suit. So the heart is all about devotion. The heart symbolizes love and emotions, and the reason and the season of spring is symbolized by the heart. It's also meant to be a symbol of childhood stage of life. It represents the fire element. And so the chalice is an ancient symbol of the heart. It holds the water of life. Life and love. Heart is the journey of the heart. Heart is the journey of love. It's springtime of the year, the time of youth and passion. This path is emotional and focuses on family, friendships, relationships, and the home. The heart is sensitive. It's also emotional, innocent, and vulnerable. The heart is devotion. Okay. The second one is the club. Club is the mind. And so it is the suit of prosperity and ambitions. It is symbolized by the summer season. It's represented by the club. The suit of the cards is an indication of the stage of youth when one places a focus on education, recklessness, and so forth. A club symbol represents the element of earth. A stylus is an ancient symbol for the club. It is a tool for gathering thoughts and communicating ideas. It is the air element, and so knowledge. The club is the journey of knowledge. It is the summertime of the year, the time of adulthood. This path is cerebral and focuses on information. So communication, education, your intellect and reasoning. The club wants to think and know. Club is mind. Okay. Diamonds. Diamonds is value and money. So symbolized by the diamond suit represents the autumn or the fall season. The suit implies the growing state of a person's working career. A diamond card represents its progress, ethics, stability, commitment, and the air element. A coin is an ancient symbol for the diamond, the valuation of energy and worth. The journey of the diamond is a journey of the creative fire of materialism. And so it is characterized by the fall time of the year and the time of maturity and harvest. The path is material. The focus is on turning energy into tangible assets, and it is determining what is of value and defining what is worth. The diamond is money. Okay. Spades is the physical environment. The spades card is the symbol or the suit of challenges and resilience. The winter season is symbolized by the spade when humans gain knowledge, acceptance, and transformation. It is called the gift of old age. This card symbol represents the element of water. So the sickle is the symbol of the spade, the most widely used tool for labor. The journey of the spade is physical work required on this physical plane of existence. It is winter time of the year and the symbolic of old age and the concerns of physical health. It is the journey of productivity, physical effort, the hands-on application of work. Spades are the salts of the earth, and spade is the physical environment. Okay, so depending upon what your card is, you will be focused in this area of your life. So for example, I am the Ace of Spades, which means that I am focused on physical work. I have been like that my whole life. From a very young age, I've had a job. And so this very speaks to me. And I am a little bit older within my soul. And so this kind of speaks to sort of who we are and how we go through this world. So depending upon your particular suit, then you would experience this world through that suit. There's a lot more to it, but I'm going to cover that. Okay. So if you are an ace like myself, the ace is about desire. It is the beginning. I am. Ace is the ego. It is the wish card, the hope, and the I want. If we turn our desire for self into desire for all, the ace becomes the card of the altruist. Aces are leaders, ambitious, energetic, motivated, and dynamic. They're independent people who easily initiate new projects. If expressed negatively, they can be overbearing, impatient, and self-centered. And I know because I've dealt with my issues and my tissues. If someone is a 2 of any suit, this is just a generalization. The number 2 seeks union, as 2 halves always make a better whole. 2 is the fear card, because if we are afraid to be cooperative, lest we give away our oneness, our ace in the hole. So the deuce represents contracts, meetings, and partnerships. 2s are considerate, cooperative, and receptive, and agreeable. They go out of their way to lead a balanced, peaceful, and harmonious life. And if expressed negatively, they may be dependent, indecisive, overly subjective, and a lack in willpower. And I can say this, my ex-husband was a 2 energy, and this was exactly him. Okay. 3 is about faith. The unity from the 2 comes the creativity of the 3. 3 creates new opportunities and then must choose which path to take. Negatively, the 3 is uncertainty and confusion. So we must be optimistic and above all have faith. 3s are creative, sociable, self-expressive, humorous, fun-loving, resourceful, and clever. They are restless. And they're also very versatile people who seek variety. They need channels for their ideas, or else they can be prone to worry and indecision. So depending upon where you're at, these are numbers 1 through 3. I'm going to cover the remainder. So 4, 5, and 6. 4 is the number of satisfaction. So the opportunities of the 3 bring the need for structure, symbolized by the 4, and the 4 is the number of luck and good fortune. So positively expressed, 4 symbol satisfaction. Negatively, they count on their luck and they can be stubborn, lazy, and bored. Fours are grounded. They're realistic, committed, reserved, hardworking, and security conscious. They can be micromanagers, very caught up in details. They look for stability and security. Too much can change in their lives, feeling overwhelmed. The 5 is all about change. I have a lot of 5s that I work with, and they're wondering why they want so much change in their life, and that's okay. And this is based on the deck of cards. You can also relate this to your also Pythagorean numerology. If you have done your ruling number calculation, you add up the numbers of your birthday and you come to a number, and then you add that number until you get numbers through 2 to 11. Okay. So I'm dating a 5, and it's very interesting because they feel the restlessness. They want to have change. And they understand that life is changing, and 5 is the middle point of everything. If you look at numbers 1 through 9, 5 sits right in the middle, right? So nothing will ever be the same. 5s are changeable, and they seek variety. So they have this sort of, they can have a fickle heart or a fickle mind. Mine doesn't. He's not a card. He's a ruling number. But he is looking for new experiences, and most definitely desired. So 5s are intelligent, they're restless, they're adventurous, they're creative, and they're freedom loving. And so they're great multitaskers who are super witty, they're enterprising and enthusiastic. If expressed negatively, though, they can be inconsistent, unreliable, and too easily bored. So they need variety in their life. 6 is about an adjustment. So exhausted from all that change and restlessness that we've experienced in the 1, 2, and the 3, and the 4, we now get 5, and then we get the 6. The 6 wants to slow down and just adjust. The past becomes important. Debts repaid, 6s feel the weight of their karma, the result of a fast-paced actions for good or for worse. The 6 prefer everything remaining the same. So 6s seek balance. They are home loving, caring, loving, artistic, and dependable. And they can be, but they can become complacent, allowing their lives to get into the ruts as they wait for things to happen to them. So they need to make things happen and change for them. My son is a 6, so I know this energy well. All right, so we have the 7. From the 7, we have what's called victory. So from the reflections and the inertia of the 6 comes the stress and the worry of the 7. 7s worry out of jealousy or gossip in their extreme cases. 7 can bring violence. The 7 must figure out ways to get around their obstacles instead of trying to charge through them. The 7 is clever and achieves victory. Rise above. 7s are sensitive, faithful, intuitive, spontaneous, idealistic, and spiritual. So they can be too dreamy to the point of expecting too much from others and from life. If expressed negatively, they can be withdrawn, confused, and self-absorbed. So it's important for the 7 to really understand this about themselves. It's also about the life lessons and what they're here to experience. 7 is also very spiritual. 8. So from the power of the 8, from the victory of the 7 comes the power of the 8. The 8 seeks to control, and they can be bossy. 8s are the number of will and strength and force. The number 8 is the number of work and gains, and that are made because of hard work. Negatively, the 8 tries to conquer and destroy. 8s are goal-oriented and strong. They're determined people who work hard. They're good with money, realistic, and dependable. And they can, however, be too controlling and stubborn if they allow themselves, okay? 9 is all about new beginnings, because we finish with 9 until we get into our double digits. So from the power of the 8 is the time to surrender to the 9. Have you ever wondered why the expression of to the 9th degree comes from? 9s must learn to forgive and let go. And if they don't let go, what they want is taken from them. The 9 is the number of service. It is high value, seeing the bigger picture, surrendering to the 9. As one door closes, another will open. So positive 9 symbolizes new beginnings. 9s are generous, intelligent, humanitarian, and helpful. They're very sentimental people who can sometimes get caught up in taking on an escape route in life. Okay. And then we have the 10, Jack, Queen, King. So these are the last number. The 10 is the last number, the biggest number, the sum of the total. It is the number of success. So if you add 1 to 9, we get 10, right? And so the number of achievement and the number of illumination. 10 is known how to harness their energy and use it to corral others. The 10 can also reduce itself to the number of 1. When this happens, the inflated ego of the 10 creates a false sense of security, and they end up tripping over their own personal pride. 10s are ambitious. They are success-oriented people who possess sound minds, strong convictions, and a healthy level of competitiveness. If used negatively, they can be demanding, controlling, and impatient. All right, so we've got Jack, Queen, and Kings. So we have the crown cards are literally a symbol of the influence of the people in your life. A crown card identifies someone as having a certain paternal or maternal influence. So this is where we're going to go from here. So if we were a Jack, you are youthful, you are charming, mischievous, romantic, witty, and creative. They have an unusually clever mind, and some can be given into their ingeniouses to get their way. They have good people skills, much enthusiasm, and they have multiple talents. So think of Jack of all trades. However, they may try to get out of taking responsibility for their lives, and they can lack clear goals. Queens are matriarchs. They are receptive, intelligent, intuitive, creative, strong, and dramatic. They're good at organizing and executing, but they can sometimes over-dramatize their lives, as any woman can. And then we have the Kings. Kings are proud. They're willful and authoritative. They're creative people who have a sense of dramatic. They have strong executive ability, and they are naturally take the lead. That's who they are. So if used negatively, they can be demanding, bossy, impatient, impulsive, and rebellious. All right, so I just want to pause here for a moment and just take a moment to see if we've got any questions in the chat. So just hang tight. Okay, we're doing good so far. Awesome. I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. Wonderful. Okay, so we're going to carry on. I'm just going to have a sip of water. Okay, so the next area we're going to cover, so we've gone ahead and we've covered the suits, we've covered the cards, and now we're going to get into the system. All right. So the next thing we do is we're going to go into the soul spread and the spiritual spread. So like I said, these cards are very specific. And what they are is the soul spread is the first tablet. And so there's 2 tablets. One is the soul spread and one is the life spread. And this is called the perfect spread. So the soul spread describes the perfect ideal state of your being. So before you come to this earth, you live in the soul spread. Okay. So you being in tune with your soul, your nature helps you manifest your most powerful creative experiences. And you know you're in tune with your soul nature because you are happy. Okay. And we don't have ego trying to constantly drive us. The other spread that we have is called the life spread. So what happens is that on our first turn of the solar year, so when we get born into this world, we get born into these spots on this tablet. And so this is where you go from birth to age 1. And so your experiences during the first year create emotional and psychological patterns that influence the way in which you connect to the rest of the world. And this becomes your personality. So for instance, I am right here at the top on the left-hand corner called the Ace of Spades. This glyph to the left of my card is called Mercury. And if you go all the way down, so follow the row all the way down, the little trident here on the bottom is Neptune. So I have planetary influences in my life being Mercury and Neptune. Okay, so that is part of my energy. There is so much more to this system, which I don't cover in this class. But when you get born into this world, you get born into also a row of cards. And so that is part of who you are. So when we place the soul spread and the life spread beside each other, this is what happens. So you move from one location to the next. However, in this system, we have a couple of fixed cards. We have 3 cards that are fixed, which is the King of Spades, the Jack of Hearts, and the 8 of Clubs. My mom is the 8 of Clubs, so I know this energy well. We have 4 cards that shift positions, which I'm not going to cover today and talk about, but that's something that we would work more on in an advanced numerological class. Today is just a master class to give you this information so that you can go away curious a little bit more about who you are and how you go through this world. Okay? So we have 7 cards, which we are dealt when we're born. And these are 7 cycles of time. So not only do we have our own 7 personal cycles, but we have these 7 cycles throughout our year. And so we cannot just have one word that describes the complexity of our characters because we're very much multifaceted in our personality. So when we come down to who it is that we are, there's actually 18 cards that are used to analyze our journey in life. And each one of these cards governs certain areas. So for instance, I am the Ace of Spades, but I also have a 7 of Hearts planetary ruler card. So I go through this world working away. I'm very ambitious, but I also have the lesson of the 7 of Hearts, and that is to truly just love myself unconditionally. Okay. And so this is why I am a relationship coach, because the relationship that you have with yourself is the most important relationship you have in this world, because if we're constantly looking outside of ourselves for that external validation, then that is what we're going to base our life on. So if we can turn around and love who we are, then we can turn around and find someone in our life that matches our values, vision, and lifestyle. And so this is why each part of your life is different, because 7 of the cards describe the conditions of your personality. And each card represents one aspect of your uniqueness. So if you want to take it all together, is there are 7 chapters that tell your full life story. And that's, again, something that is more advanced within this system. So I'm just going to go through my personal life spread with you so that you can see the numbers that I was dealt with when I was born. Okay, so you will always begin your life in your Mercury season. Okay, so that's the period right before your birthday. And the period right before your birthday will always be Neptune. So currently, this isn't what I'm experiencing right now in my 52 planet day period. I am currently in my Neptune season because I'm born on June 3rd. So I switched into my Neptune season on the 12th of April. Okay. And so along with each planetary period, you also have 5 main cards that point out to the main types of experiences that you will have to encounter that year. And so for myself personally, I will show you my software and I will show you my own spread, because I have experienced certain things this year and lessons that I was meant to go through so that my soul can level up each year. Okay. So this is where this lends such depth and information to each year of your life and how it's influenced. And so when I coach people, I utilize this system because it helps us not so much fortune tell, but for instance, I just worked with a client before I got on this call, and we looked at, is it career? Is it, relationships? Or is it health that she's going to be dealing with this year? And so this is where we can take a look at the challenges that are going to be part of your life and where you're focusing on. Because coaching is really all about, what do you want and why do you want it, right? I just help you get there. Okay. So with this information is that sometimes this helps with taking the struggle out of your life. You can see what's going on. You can make decisions with your heart and your intuition. And you can really appreciate and fully revel in the blessings that are coming to you. And this is how you can grow and be better. Okay, so there's no need to be knocked down or sidetracked by major challenges, because those major challenges are meant to come into our lives for a reason. So like I said, we have planetary periods. So each of us begins with the planet of Mercury on our birthday. Each period lasts for 52 days. Okay, so there are 7 planets. So we've got Mercury, Venus, and Mars. Right? And then we have Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. And so what happens is, if you take these 7 times 52 equals 364 days, and then you add in the Joker, who's part of the deck as well, we can't forget about him, you have 365 days of the year. So do you see how this card system is able to help support us within our life? So on a side note about the Joker, there's only one birthday, and the Joker is December 31st. And it is considered the Alpha and Omega card. So there's no birth card spread for the Joker. So the Joker can be like anyone that they want, but they're usually kind of like the King of Spades or the Ace of Hearts. And they would use this yearly spread of one of those as one of those cards. Okay. So with this life spread description, I'm just going to kind of go through it with you. There's a lot of information here to cover, and I just want to be mindful of the time. It's we're about 40 minutes in, and it's a lot of information. So just going to quickly just touch base on all of these, but I will be sending you the recording so you can pause and start this whenever you want. So the life spread description. So again, we get 7 major cards, and our Mercury season describes our early years and the experiences that shape your thought process and communication with others. So for instance, when you're born, your ages 1 through 7 are this, okay? Your Venus describes your teen years and your early and sometimes into the early 20s. And the card in Venus also shows us how to love and what makes us happy. So these cards are multifaceted, because not only do we look at them in our yearly spread, we also take a look at them in chunks of time. When we get into the Mars, that describes our vitality and our younger adult years. And so here you will discover what drives you and how you respond to conflicts and how you take charge. And so for instance, and for example, my son is in his Mars season because he's 21. And so he is going through this change in his life, and I'm just allowing him to make his own decisions, because quite often we have parents who come in and say, well, this is what you're going to do, and I want you to go here and I want you to go there. And ultimately, it's the soul's decision to decide how they want to navigate this life. And they can either make it hard for themselves or not. That is their decision. Jupiter describes your adult life. The cards in the Jupiter indicate your material, financial resources, your associates, and your fortune or luck of the draw. So we get a Jupiter season every year, but we also get Jupiter in our lives. Saturn describes our mature years. and I'm about to step into my mature years. And this is the cycle that indicates that where you're at with the health related issues, your adversity and your cross to bear. Uranus describes what you're known as in the golden years. The cards of this cycle demonstrate your creativity and your spirituality. So quite often we don't see people sort of hit their spirituality sometimes until they're older. Doesn't mean you can't be spiritual. That also depends on your suit and your card. Neptune describes the years we consider as old age, and this cycle reveals your dreams and your aspirations. So after 91, the cycle completes itself again. Okay, so this is how we read our primary cards. So what happens is we read cards from right to left, moving down the rows. And when you get to the bottom left-hand corner, we go back up to the top row and continue counting from left, moving down to the rows. So I just want to show you. So for instance, so I would be, if you take a look in the center, it would be, we go from left to right. So I want to take a look back here. So if we go into my life spread, I have a 7 of hearts, 7 of diamonds, 5 of spades, jack of hearts, 9, 9, and a 2. So if we take a look at this, oops, we have 7 of hearts, 7 of diamonds, 5 of spades, jack of hearts, 9, 9, and a 2. Okay. So this is why it's very important for you to understand the cards that you're given, because each one of these is different. So for instance, my Jupiter is a jack of hearts, and I have just hired a financial coach who is a jack of hearts, and she is my Jupiter. And so the thing is she is going to teach me all about these financial skills that I want to instill into my life. Okay, so I'm choosing someone who is actually in my life spread because that person can influence me in a positive way. Okay, so this is where I'm saying that it's very important for you to like understand and be curious about yourself, because a lot of this information is out there on the internet. All you need to do is look for it and understand it. And if you don't, please feel free to reach out to me and I will walk you through that through a coaching session. Okay. So each year we are given certain energy. So this is my energy this year, and the rest of the spreads are in these yearly tablets. So what happens with these yearly tablets is that it is a quantum calculation and the cards shift position. Like I said, there are 5 cards that don't. There are 7 cards. So there's 3 that stay constant in all the same place, but there are 4 cards that switch once amongst each other. So for instance, each yearly tablet is a personal calendar that starts on your birthday. So for June 3rd, I get all new cards. These were my cards this year. And so next year, my cards look differently, which I'm going to show you in my software that I've got. So for example, you can follow the ebb and the flow of karma for all the people who are 30 years old by reading their cards on tablet 30. And so for instance, we have this this tablet system that was created. So I not only have it in my software, but I also have it in a physical form if I need to, because I always like to take a look at the planetary alignments of what's happening with that as well. Okay. So I just want to share a little bit about who I am as a card, because this is very important for you to know. Sorry, excuse me, my nose is running. So as a spade, I am the Ace of Spades, the Sage of the deck. Dignified and wise, you have lived 1,000 lives, even as a kid. You probably seem like an old soul in the playground. Spades represent your post-retirement lives and the season of winter. So I will let you know when I get into social situations, I'm the person who stands back and watches everybody. I watch all the kids. I'm a very old soul. And quite often people are very drawn to me and will have just random conversations with me out of the middle of nowhere just because of who I am and how I represent myself. So I'm all about making things happen. For me, it's about take action, take action. If something needs to be done, I do it. I procrastinate here and there, but not as much. I love to take ideas and turn them into reality, and with a balanced and holistic approach. And so I've always had very unique businesses. So my broad perspective makes me empathic, and I'm armed with patience and grace the majority of the time. So as a spade, I can be patient and I am mature and gracious, and sometimes I might be condescending. So I need to be careful of that. And I tend to ask, what is real, or what is next, or what are we doing here, folks? Because I need direction. It's who I am. And so if I'm in a group of people and there is no leadership, I stand up and say, okay, we need to figure this out, because I dislike disorganization. It's part of me. I just, So I'm very clear about how I feel, how I think, and what I value. Hands down. I live life in tune with my own inner compass, and I love solving problems. And sometimes I also bask in some well-deserved praise. I am looking for feedback all the time from my clients, and that is me. I'm not looking for praise from my clients, but I am looking for the things that are working for them, because good, then that's a tool that I can reutilize, right? So connecting with others is my forte, and I just need to remember to dial down the judgment. And it's interesting, I put this in here because it's not about me judging someone else. It's about me seeing how someone could live their life better. If that makes sense. Okay. So I'm very clear-minded. I'm decisive. I can be prone to worry. That's me. My argument style is to be blunt and dismissive. I'm like a cat, and I say what I want. And then when I'm done talking to somebody, it's all about talk to the butt. I put this in here because I thought it was kind of cute. So discussions about plans, big picture thinking, and being real with others are my kind of conversations. And to gain your trust, folks need to bring their A game in comparison. I cannot be around people who are super wishy-washy. It does nothing for me. So as a relationship coach, it's very important to me that when I'm communicating with my clients, they understand this about me. This is integral information, because I'm going to ask the hard questions. I am going to hold you accountable. I work with self-led people. And for those people who are not self-led, then I have a really hard time working with them, because there's sometimes a needle in a haystack. And for people who want to move themselves forward, I'm your girl. Okay. This is who I am. And this is why I've written in here this description of me, because it's important for you to understand who you're learning from. Okay. Also, as an ace of spades, I'm the most mature of all the aces. Well, I don't know if I'm not, but anyways, having turned self-focus into profound interest of who I am. My approach to life is unique and as rare as a gem, working wonders for me. Rather than making grand entrances, I prefer the charm of a subtle presence. I don't, I'm not all bling. I am who I am. And sometimes people just might not get it, which can sting a little bit, because I am very much about, I have a really big, soft heart, and sometimes people don't get that. So I'm either the type who's captivated by life's greatest mysteries, or someone who's firmly rooted in the tangible everyday stuff. And whichever person I am, I'm on a quest for the secret recipe of life, be it spiritual skies or physical earth mixed in with the Aces Hall of Fame self-focus. And I've got the making of a life coach, a mechanic, an astrologer, a psychic, a movie director, composer, a role anywhere where I can decipher and master the enigmatic formulas of life. It's important for me. So those are things of vocations where I might be really good at. So whatever who I am, I'm on a quest for that secret recipe of life, be it in the spiritual, and this emotional scar that I've had in my life is calling me to personally heal the wounds from my past and living. And so I'm here to mend the here and the now. I'm not meant to stay in the past. Okay. Because there's a bit of a generational twist with my card that if I'm from I might not I will wear my emotions on my sleeve when I feel comfortable in doing so. And so this is where I get to turn this superpower of empathy and kindness into who I am. And if not, then I morph into sort of this harsh outer shell. And so this is where I have had to deal with my own childhood stuff and experience my own childhood trauma and heal that inner child of me. Okay. I want to quickly just talk about the card placements because I want to wrap up because we're almost at an hour's time. So one of the things within this card system is we have these cards and they're put in certain places. So I want to just quickly just touch on these little things because you're going to develop, you're going to see this throughout your year. So the Sun card identifies your starting point and your characteristics for your self-identity. I just talked about that. I am the Ace of Spades. Your Mercury card, which for me is the Seven of Hearts. And so this is where I'm going to look for events and circumstances to happen more quickly during this Mercury period. And so I get new Mercury energy on my birthday, which I'm going to show you my software quickly. It's Mercury is very quick acting and transitory, and I might see sudden changes come the first 52-day period after my birthday. And so this is where it's very important about communication and intellectual pursuits and our thinking habits as well. We then step into a Venus, which is all about the planet of love. And this is where we're in sort of this romantic world, and it's all about home and matters of personal and intimate nature. And we're likely to come under this influence where Venus is where you express your feelings and your creative talents. Okay. Mars energy is through many thinking. Mars can bring aggression and war because it's called the planet of war, but Mars is also about taking action. It brings super energy to the passions that we have within ourselves. Okay. Jupiter is the planet of blessings. And so this is where we can have wealth and abundance and business success, right? We also have Saturn, which is the planet of challenges. So once we get into our Saturn period within our 7 periods of time, this is where the Saturn influence often brings restrictions or limitations, obstacles, and difficulties, which we need to adhere to and get over. Finally, we have our Uranus, which is the expect the unexpected. Well, under this Uranus influence, it can also bring drastic changes to lifestyle as it accents interest in spirituality, intuition, and the metaphysics. So for instance, in my Uranus period this last year, I got given a trip to Cuba for free with my girlfriend. So talk about, unexpected. Yeah. And I thought, oh boy, universe, boy, you really just handed me this one. The next one is Neptune, which is the season that I'm currently in now. And Neptune's influence often pertains to matters relating to water or liquids. Often it will pertain to long journeys over water, traveling, sailing. Neptune is very dreamy and very visionary. And so this is where this influence can be here, where there will be fantasy and illusion and hidden matters and possible deception. So this is something to understand because it is about bringing in the spiritual and the metaphysical and possible psychic experiences for us to be able to move along with the impractical schemes that are symbolized here. Okay. We have a couple of other ones too, but I'm not going to cover those because I really want to get to the software and just show you quickly my chart. And then also we have relationship dynamics, which I'm not going to cover here because each one of these is very different. You can pause and look at this, but this is where when I step in and I take a look at the relationship between people, this is where I look at cosmic connections. So for instance, I am in a relationship with someone who is a Jupiter to me. And so we feel an expansive influence in our lives, both of us do. And we benefit from people born to play this card. And these people expand our horizons, opening us to receive more of life's abundance. I was married to someone who was Mercury and Venus to me. Okay. So this is where we have these experiences within these relationship dynamics. We also have a couple of other ones. So we're always taking a look at the planets because ultimately these planets have an impact on us, and how they show up in our lives is very important to us because they can play a certain role within us. And this is one more thing that we can do with this system because it's called an astronumerology system. So you know how you take your astrology and you put it against someone else's and you're like, oh, well, for instance, Geminis and Capricorns don't do well together. There's that kind of thing. So this is way more in depth when it comes to looking at your planetary influences. Okay, so what's next? If there are any questions that I can answer for you, please feel free to reach out and talk to me. I am an open book. You can contact me on Facebook, through Instagram, through my email, which I'm going to send you the replay on this. I want you to connect with me. This is who I am. I am a connector. If you have any questions, if you're curious, even just about your ruling number, I will send you a free link to that where you can actually find out who you are, because it was 6 years ago that I found out my life path was an 11-2, which means that I am a master number, and it literally changed my life. Once my soul knew why I was here, things changed. Okay, so you can contact me either through my website, through my email, or you can throw me a text and say, hey, it's so and so. Okay, so I'm going to just stop my share with you at the moment. And we are going to go ahead and I am going to see if we can pull up my Book of Life system. So just give me a moment here. I've got my client's information in here. I just want to change it to me. All right, so I'm going to go ahead here and I am going to share my screen again, and I am just going to show you my life. Okay. So welcome to the Book of Life numerology system. It is called many things. It's called cardology. It's called cartomancy. It's called destiny of the cards. Oh my gosh, you can see how many things I have open at the moment. That's okay. And so what I want to do is I want you to focus on the particular things that I've got going on the screen here. Okay, so for instance, you can see that I am, so this is last year. So if you want to, I'm going to scroll down here. So as you can see, I'm in my Neptune season, and I have an 8 of Hearts in my Neptune season. So I can click on this card and it can give me information. So I am supposed to have an amazing Neptune season. I'm traveling during this period, and that's exactly it. I've actually booked a trip. And so I have the power to achieve my dreams. So I've been doing lots of manifesting and also in a relationship. And so I am in a committed relationship with someone right now. And well, not right now, but I'm in a committed relationship. And as long as I get clear about exactly what it is that I wish to do, I am practically guaranteed to achieve it. Okay, so that's one thing. So each one of these cards means something. And so I'm able to navigate my world based upon this card system. So as you can see, we have 7 glyphs here, which is those 7 periods of 52 days. Okay, so I'm just going to show you something. So did you see the cards flip? Yeah. So my cards flipped. And so what happens is I turn 51 on June 3rd. And these are the energies that I'm personally going to be experiencing this upcoming year. So if I click on here, this is my Ace of Spades. Okay, so this tells me all about my card. And so this top row here is the energy that I will experience all year long. So I have a long range energy of court cards. So I have a queen of clubs. My Pluto, which is like my challenge, is going to be a Jack of Diamonds. My result is going to be a Queen of Diamonds. My environment is going to be a King of Clubs, which is intuitiveness. And then my displacement is going to be a 5 of diamonds. And I explain all of these to you in your energy forecast. Okay. And then as we go through each season through our lifetime, so when I hit my birthday on June 3rd, I'm going to hit a 4 of hearts. And so what this is this card brings happy love and romance. And it's a powerful card stabilizing that within my life. And so one of the things was last year when I was dating, I was looking for someone that I could be long-term with. And that was important to me because I'm a relationship coach. And so I devised a questionnaire based upon who it is that I wanted to date and who it is that I wanted to meet. And I've met someone really great. So we're taking our relationship to the next level. All right. So all depending upon your values, your vision, and your lifestyle, that is who you should be building your relationships with. And so we do get some relationships that we are challenged with, sometimes AKA family. And I know, for instance, I have the ability through my software here is to take a look at the relationship dynamics that I have with my family, with my mom and my dad. So this is the system that I utilize. I'm going to stop my share here. And this is the system that I utilize. And this is the system that we can utilize to work with you and to work with your forecast. I always start clients out with a divine purpose blueprint. So that is based upon your Pythagorean numerology. I always start there because the way that we numerologists look at this is we all have a life path. But within that life path, we have many lessons. We also have seasons. We have we have personal day influences. We have a lot of things that kind of come about within our Pythagorean numerology. So I like to work with my clients first on that. And then we can jump into our yearly forecast and really dive deep into the experiences that you're here to have throughout your season. And so if this is something that you're interested in, please reach out to me. That's what I'm here for. And I'm here to help guide you through this process. So I'm going to wrap up this class. Thank you so much for attending. I wanted to keep this timely. I don't want to just go on and on and on. It's great that this is recorded, so you can now go in and you can pause it and stop and listen and write things down. Because what I'm here to do is I'm here to help you navigate who you are and what do you want. Okay, so thank you so much. I so appreciate you being here, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you on a one-on-one basis. So thanks so very much and have a wonderful evening, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.